welcome everyone to the call. Thank you so much for joining. It's really great that we have just got over 100 people on the call. That's absolutely fantastic. I'm sure there's going to be some more people joining us soon. Yeah, this is really, really exciting. So whilst we're waiting, if you're joining us via a laptop or a desktop computer, please introduce yourself in the chat box on the right-hand side of your screen. Tell us where you're from. Tell us whether you've been out canvassing or you're involved in the campaign in any other way, or if this is your first time getting involved. If this is your first time getting involved, that's absolutely fantastic. A particularly big welcome to you guys. It's really, really great to have you on board. If you're calling in by phone, then you won't be able to use the chat box during the call, but don't worry, we still know that you're there, and it's really, really great that you've been able to call in. All right, the numbers are still going up, but I think we're going to get going because it's after 8 o'clock. So yeah, I'll kick things off. So welcome again to everyone to tonight's strategy call. To introduce myself, my name is Claire and I work at Momentum, and I'm going to be moderating the call this evening. And with me is Sam.
Hi.
Who doesn't work at Momentum, but is a really, really keen canvasser, and he's been canvassing for Labour in marginals up and down the country already this election, so it's really great that we've got him joining us. Before we get started properly, I just want to give a really quick overview of what we'll be talking about tonight. So first up, we're going to be giving you some key insights into what we've achieved together in the last week and how the campaign is going. So then we're going to be talking about what's coming up this week. Now, this week is the biggest week of the campaign so far. We've got the launch of Labour's manifesto on Thursday, and this is set to be a really game-changing moment in the campaign. And we've also got the first live TV debate between Jeremy Corbyn, yay, and Boris Johnson, who, on Tuesday. So do stay on the call for important information about how we need you to get involved in both of these events. Finally, at the end of the call, we're going to be joined by none other than the chair of the Labour Party, the wonderful Ian Lavery, who's going to be talking a bit about how amazing this year's manifesto is going to be. So do look forward to that. Overall, this call should last no longer than about 35-40 minutes. So yeah, without further ado, I'm going to pass over to Sam, who's going to be telling us all about the amazing things that we've achieved this week.
Amazing. And what a week it's been. So ahead of the manifesto launch next week, which Jeremy has said is going to blow our socks off, we've already seen some really, really exciting policies being announced that give us a bit of a taster for what's in store. So on Thursday night, I'm sure you remember, John McDonnell announced that Labour will make fast broadband free for everyone. This is an absolutely amazing policy that will make such a huge difference to so many people's lives, particularly those living in rural areas that currently have really terrible internet access, and to many isolated older people too. And the best part is that it's going to be paid for by a new tax on big tech companies such as Amazon, Facebook and Google. So yeah, it's really going to be an amazing policy for the many, not the few tax avoiding companies. Other exciting policies announced this week include a pledge to close the gender pay gap by 2030. So Labour's plan would require companies to take action against any identified pay gaps, and is based on initiatives that are already in place in other countries such as Iceland. Labour's promise also includes other proposals to deliver real change for women in the workplace, including extending statutory maternity pay from 9 to 12 months, introducing free childcare for all 2 to 4-year-olds, and strengthening protections against unfair dismissal, redundancies with extra protections for pregnant women. So, you know, this is all absolutely fantastic. And then on a campaigning front, we've had another really amazing week. We've had thousands of you have been out on the doorstep at mass canvassing events in marginals up and down the country. So we've had huge crowds in so many marginal seats, including Broxtowe, Penistone and Stocksbridge and Ashfield yesterday. So if you've been out canvassing this week, really amazing work. Nice one. Yeah, thousands of you have also attended and participated in our training events, including our Let's Go training sessions in London, Nottingham, Manchester and elsewhere. And thousands more have joined our online training course to learn how to have persuasive conversations with potential Labour voters. So if you haven't already attended a training session and you would like to, do not worry. We've got another one at 8 p.m. tomorrow night. And you can register for the call at bit.ly/PC online training. Should we post that in the chat right now as well? Let's do that right now.
Yes, just again, this is it's not the case that you need to have, you know, loads of training in order to go out canvassing, but if you do want an extra bit of support, then this training is something which would be really great to go to.
Absolutely.
So yeah, we've just posted that in the chat box just now. That's the link for where you can register for the call.
So again, that's bit.ly/PC online training. We've also started running welcome calls. We just did one an hour ago for those of you who haven't ever campaigned before. And we're going to be running these calls multiple times a week, hopefully on like Wednesdays and Sundays, isn't it? So if you're a new campaigner looking to find out how to get involved in the campaign, do sign up for the next one, which will be on Wednesday at 7 p.m. at bit.ly/welcome call 3. And I'll just post that in the chat as well.
Just while Sam's posting that in the chat, it's really great to see everyone introducing themselves in the chat box. It's really, really exciting. Yeah, I can see Christine from the Isle of Wight. I can see Graham from Winchester, Lucy from Norwich. It's, yes, really, really
nice.
exciting that you're all here. Great to have you on the call.
We've also started placing our Labour Legends in marginals. For those of you who don't know, Labour Legends are those of you who can commit a week or more full-time to the campaign. And right this very minute, our very first Labour Legends are travelling across the country to start their placements in marginals, including Penistone and Stocksbridge and East Worthing and Shoreham, where they'll be living for a week or more and helping run the campaign, run their canvassing operation there, which is all so exciting and such a step up from last year, from 2017. It's also really great that the Labour Party's phone banking tool Dialogue is up and running as of this week, which means that those of you for whom canvassing isn't really your thing, you're now able to get stuck into the campaign by calling voters up and down the country to persuade them to vote Labour. So yeah, you can check out Dialogue, which is the app at dialogue.labour.org.uk. You may need to activate your Labour Party account in order to access the tool. So just follow the instructions on the page. It's super easy. And I did like a trial one in Broxtowe the other day, and it's absolutely class. Also want to give a really big shout out to everyone involved in the F Boris. We're not allowed to say that.
I don't want to swear on the call, so I'm just going to say F Boris.
F Boris, yeah. Everyone involved in the F Boris campaign. So it was, for anyone who doesn't know, yesterday hundreds of people travelled to Boris Johnson's seat of Uxbridge and South Ruislip to register people to vote so we can unseat him on the 12th of December. He's got like such a small majority there, so it's really, really possible. People distributed over 2,000 leaflets and registered hundreds to vote. So amazing, well done on that. I already saw, yeah, my guy Alex is in this call now who was involved in that as well. So well done anyone who on this call who was involved in that. But yeah, it's absolutely amazing that so many of you have been stepping up, taking part in so much of the above this week. So yeah, shout out to every single one of you. Cheers, that's all from me.
Awesome. Yeah, so that's a quick rundown of everything that's been going on this week. We really are achieving so much already in this campaign. I know that kind of like, yeah, here, the energy in the office feels like absolutely fantastic, and that's all, you know, because of like you guys and you guys getting out and campaigning. So it really, really is brilliant. We're also not even at the halfway mark of this election campaign, so I'm really, really excited for what's to come. So what's coming up this week? As I mentioned earlier, this week is going to be the biggest week of the campaign so far. We've got the launch of Labour's manifesto on Thursday, and we've also got the first live TV debate between Jeremy Corbyn and Boris Johnson, and that's on Tuesday. The launch of Labour's manifesto will be an election-changing moment in this campaign. This is where we get to find out Labour's transformative plans for the country on housing, on healthcare, on the climate crisis, and so much more, which we can then take to the doorstep and talk about with millions of potential Labour voters. The Tories, I believe, are leaving their manifesto launch until just 2 weeks before polling day. That's because they know that they can't offer any real change to this country, and so they're trying to downplay their policies in this election. That's why it's all the more important that we make Labour's manifesto launch as huge as possible, so the voters know that Labour really are the only party that can bring about real transformative change to communities across the UK. We've got really big plans for the launch of the manifesto, which I'm going to run through really quickly now. So shortly after the manifesto launches, we're going to be launching a range of manifesto resources to help you talk confidently about the manifesto on the doorstep. We'll be adding a brand new policy explainer section to our website. We'll be featuring a range of digestible documents that will break down key policies from Labour's manifesto so that you have more confidence in discussing them on the doorstep. We're also going to be creating manifesto explainer videos. We're going to be bringing in expert voices to basically produce a series of videos that will focus on different policy areas in the manifesto, from public ownership to the Green New Deal. These videos are going to set out the core messages of each policy area and explain Labour's transformative policies, so that you feel as confident as possible when going out and talking to people on the doorstep. We've also got really big plans for the first head-to-head TV debate on Tuesday. This is going to be a really key opportunity in the campaign for building excitement and support for the campaign. And so we're asking you to host debate watch parties with your friends, with your families, with colleagues. particularly people who haven't got involved in the election campaign. If
Hello.
you're hosting a party,
Hey.
you can sign up at peoplesmomentum.com.
I'm watching it.
/debate
I'm also on the
watch,
call. I'm
and we're going to be in
multitasking.
contact with you soon in order to
It's a strategy
help you and
call
support you to
for
set up
campaigners.
those debate watch parties.
I was
So I've
like,
just
fuck it,
posted
I'll get involved in this. I'll also watch
that link in the
my
chat.
game.
So yeah, please do
Yeah,
go
I can
sign
do
up.
both, you see, and there's so many
voting.
ads, it doesn't matter.
So,
oh, can we mute the mics?
ooh,
Roche.
just
Sorry.
seems like some people are having some problems with the mic. So just give us 1 second and we'll try and sort that out. Here we go. Cool. That should be all right now. If you just post in the chat box, if you just let us know that the sound's okay, then we'll keep going. Yep, all good. Yeah. Amazing, awesome. Thanks for flagging that, everyone. Cool. So
posting that link again,
yeah, just in case you didn't see. So yes, we've just posted a link, peoplesmomentum.com /debate watch. And there basically, what we want you to do is to organise, in your living room, or, if you're able to, in a community centre or some other public building in your community, to organise a party where you all kind of watch the debate together. These are really good for getting people engaged in the election campaign who perhaps aren't as engaged as we'd like them to be. So it could be members of your family, it could be friends. Yeah, we're going to be if you sign up to that link just there, then people will get in touch with you and they'll be able to support you to do that. So on top of this, it's now just 9 days to go until the deadline to register to vote. This is, it's not long at all. And we urgently need to get people in marginals registered to vote. And the best way to do this is really simple. It's through targeted Facebook advertising. So to get the voters we need registered over the next 10 days, we're going to be running a huge fundraising drive in order to pay for this Facebook advertising. So if you're able to chip in and help us, please do go to bit.ly/momentum chip in. We've calculated that it costs us just 27p to register someone to vote in a marginal. So anything that you can give at all will be really, really appreciated. So yeah, that's everything that we've got coming up. I'm going to run through everything again just before the end of the call. It's going to be a really, really huge week, and I hope that everyone's as excited as we are. Okay, so we're almost at the end, but before we finish, we've got a really special guest. We have none other than the chairman of the Labour Party, Ian Lavery, who's going to come and speak to us.
Woo! Yeah!
Way! Take it away.
Right, well, listen, thanks very much for calling us in to have this discussion. Can I first of all say a big thank you to Momentum and everybody who works for Momentum, everybody in the communities up and down the country who support Momentum are doing an absolutely brilliant job. And I'm so proud of each and every one of you. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, mate, to get a Labour government. And I've campaigned all my life from being in the moderate National Union of Mine Workers to wanting a Labour government with true socialist policies, and that's what we've got. We've got a mountain of policies. But I'm going to just say this, that we've got the policies we need. We've got a fantastic leader in Jeremy Corbyn. We've got everything we need to win an election. What we need to do is articulate the policies, discuss the policies, listen to what people say, and develop the policies. You can have the best policies in the world if people do not understand what you stand for, how you're going to transform society, how you're going to transform their lives, the lives of people in their community. If you cannot articulate that, then you will struggle. It's so important that we get the message across what we stand for. I've been campaigning for years, I promise you. And you get it on the doorstep, you're all the same. You're the same. Politicians are all the same. Political parties are all the same. Let me tell you, the Labour Party is completely different to what the Labour Party has ever been in the past. This is a great opportunity. And I honestly believe, and I'm telling you, get the message out there, articulate the arguments, and we will have Jeremy Corbyn in number 10 for Christmas.
Woo! And there's a lot of love coming on the chat for you in as well. Yeah, thanks so much. What would you say if you think people are a bit nervous about going out and campaigning? Would you have any advice for people who, maybe they really love the Labour Party and they love everything that Jeremy Corbyn stands for, but if there's a little part of them that's a bit nervous about it, how would you figure them up?
Well, listen, if you're not nervous, you're different. everybody who goes out campaigning for the first time is nervous, whether it's leafleting or whether it's knocking on people's doors. You are nervous. You're not sure what you will expect. But in the main, the people are fantastic. There'll be people who disagree with you. That's fine. All you need to do as a campaigner, to be a seasoned campaigner, is be polite, listen to what they've got to say, and you can have a discussion. Gone are the days, in my view, where the old Labour Party style was you knock on somebody's door, you say, right, I'm Ian Lavery from the Labour Party. Who did you vote for last time? Who are we voting for this time? Thank you very much. I'll see you. You've got to have a chat with them. What's happening in your area? And let me tell you, it's enjoyable. It is. If indeed you are apprehensive, and 99.99% of the people are apprehensive when you're campaigning for the first time, door knocking, team up with somebody who's already been door knocking, and get used to it. 2 years going to the door and use that as a learning experience and just build on that. And I know that you'll be dying to go into doors on your own after that. So it's a great opportunity. You listen to people, you speak to people, you see people with all different views. Hopefully, they share the views of the party. Sometimes they don't, but it's a great experience, man. It really is.
Yeah. And just one final question. So obviously we've got the launch of the manifesto on Thursday. I'm sure that you can't say a lot about what's in it, but should we be excited about it?
You should be really excited about it. Really, really. I spent 6 hours in the Close 5 meeting yesterday, and the manifesto is fantastic. It's a big improvement on the manifesto of 2017. All of which got leaked, and I would love to leak it live to everybody on this call tonight, but I cannot. But I will tell you that there's some great announcements on Thursday in Birmingham, and I just want you to hang on my words and assure you that this is the best, the most radical socialist manifesto that the Labour Party has ever produced. It is for the many and not the few. And it'll help people right across society. And we are going to be taking on the rogue landlords. We are going to be taking on the big polluters. We are going to be taking on the tax evaders. We're up for this fight, and we will win this. This manifesto is tremendous.
Woo! Let's have a round of applause for that. Woo! Everyone in the Merton office is getting very excited about that. Ian, thank you so much. Really great to get you on the call.
Yeah, well.
So just before we wrap up, I just want to remind you, if you're not already on our mailing list, please register your details via our website at peoplesoflondon.com, where you can also find all our campaign resources and all the different ways to get involved with the campaign. Really great to see so much love for Ian coming in on the chat. It's absolutely amazing. In terms of key priorities this week, there are 3 things that really stand out. So number 1, we need to be getting out to marginals where there currently aren't enough people on the ground. So it's absolutely fantastic that we've got so many people campaigning across the UK, but we still have some marginals where we need more people out and knocking on doors. So we just upgraded our campaign map. That's mycampaignmap.com, so that it will now tell you where it is that marginals need more activists. So if you go to the map, that's mycampaignmap.com, you enter your postcode and you'll find a list of marginals that need your help the most. So please go and do that. We calculate this list based on how marginal the constituency is and how many campaigners have already visited there. And these marginals are going to change as the campaign goes on. So go and look where you're needed now, and then keep checking back the site. So number 2, as I mentioned earlier, it's really, really brilliant that the Labour Party's phone banking tool, Dialogue, as of this week, it's up and running. It's absolutely amazing. This means that those of you for whom canvassing isn't your thing, you're able to, really get stuck into the campaign by calling voters up and down the country and persuading them to vote Labour. So you can check out Dialogue at dialogue.labourparty.org.uk. So I'm just going to post that in the chat box right now. Yeah, and then the third thing is that we're asking you to host debate watch parties. So these are basically you just get a group of friends together, your family, your colleagues, and you watch the first live TV debate between Jeremy Corbyn and Boris Johnson this Tuesday. This is particularly useful for people who haven't got involved in the election campaign before, because it's just an opportunity to come together with people who support the Labour Party and just have a bit of fun. So the first head-to-head debate, it's this Tuesday, and if you're interested in hosting a party, please sign up at peoplesmomentum.com. debate watch. I'm posting that in the chat again just now. And someone will get back to you soon with more information. Also, keep a lookout for our manifesto resources when they launch later in the week. I promise that they're going to be absolutely amazing. And just before we finish, just to say that even though we've been smashing our fundraising targets, thanks to donations from activists like you, it goes without saying that the more donations that we get, the more radically we can expand our campaign and the more support we can provide you with across the country. So if you're able to chip in now, you can do so by heading to bit.ly, ly/momentum chip in. I'm posting that in the chat just now. That's bit.ly/momentum chip in. And that's a wrap for tonight. If you have any questions after the call or anything you think that we might be able to help with, then please just go to our website, peoplesmomentum.com, and send us a message on our live chat feature, and someone from our amazing support team should be able to get back shortly to help you. I'm just seeing a question in the chat saying, is there a link for the manifesto tools? So we haven't launched those yet because we're only going to be launching those after the manifesto is launched. So they'll be around probably on Friday. But just keep an eye on the website. Then you'll find them. We're also going to be emailing them out to everyone. So you will be able to find out about them. Thank you so much to everyone who's joined us tonight, and a huge thank you to Ian, who I think is just gone, for taking the time out of his really busy campaigning schedule to join us tonight. We're really excited about the selection.
Big time.
And remember, we're in it to win it. Have a great night, everyone. Bye.
Someone's asked for a...
Don't worry, you'll be able to see. Hello, everyone. I've started the recording now, so you're all online. So what is the calling team for? Basically, think of us all as peers calling peers, getting people like us mobilized towards a specific action or event. We call on this calling team members and supporters of Momentum. So that's anyone who signed up. That is the phone list that we're calling from and have access to. So we tell them about an event close to them or chat through a role that they may have volunteered for with Momentum, like Labour Legends, for example. We could be telling them about canvassing or training events. We motivate them, and in turn, they motivate more people. And that's how we swing the marginals. What last election proved is that a few votes can make all the difference, and having real conversations with people, having that extra nudge and that extra push will make all the difference. And being on the call, you're going to have some lovely phone conversations. You're going to be talking to amazing people, because unlike when you're just calling for the Labour Party, because it's the Momentum database, we're talking to people who are Labour Party members, we're talking to people who've signed up who aren't Labour Party members but are really eager to get involved. We're talking to Labour legends who have never been involved in Momentum at all but are going to give up a week of their life to do something. So everyone is really, really excited and happy to talk to you. So it should be a breeze. So the online software that we use is called Call Hub. So it's the same software as the texting team uses, and this works through a laptop or your computer. And it's a bit different to the Labour Party's Dialogue app. So that's worth mentioning for those who have used Dialogue in the past. If you've done phone banking with Labour before and are confident on the phone, that is amazing. It's worth noting that the calls through Call Hub that we make is not classic phone banking in the same way that you would with Labour. It's a bit different because we're not calling voters and asking how they're going to vote. So it's not like a voter identification, but we're calling Momentum members and supporters, anyone who signed up, who care about Labour winning the election. So it's not so much of a sell and more about coordination, mobilization, and getting people organized and plugged in. So we will be calling people's phones, but through our laptops and computers, kind of like a call center system, but for winning a socialist government. So many of our callers have reported about how encouraging it has been to speak to other Labour Party members and supporters So it's amazing that you guys are doing this, and I think you're going to have the best time. I certainly have on the calls I've made. So depending on the needs of Momentum's campaign team, there'll be different calls using different scripts every week. But don't worry, this will all make sense when you first use Call Hub. Using Call Hub means that we can prepare scripts for you, and it makes it easy for you to record people's responses to the questions you're asking. And we can tweak the script from day to day if something in the campaign changes, or also if you let us know that actually there's a way that that script might be improved because you've got the same people who are saying, actually, I'm not getting this, or I'd really like to know this. So it can be flexible like that. The great news is that we can have an unlimited number of callers making calls at the same time using Call Hub. So that's the call center bit. So between 11 a.m. and 8 p.m., which are our set times, sorry, every day between now and polling day, we're going to be able to make a huge number of calls. So I'm really, really excited about all of you newbies getting stuck in with some calling. So now for you guys to know, I am going to briefly show you my screen so you can see what it looks like when you log into Call Hub. So 1 second, guys. Here we go. So this is me on my laptop. You can see Call Hub is logged in up there. So, and this is what it looks like initially. And you'll be able to see the campaign that you've got. You'll be able to see a reminder of the script so you can refresh yourself with what we're going to be talking about. But handily, we also put a Google Doc, like a Word document in the Slack, which has this script in too. So you can play around with it. You can move it into ways that are going to make most sense for how you see things. So it's less cramped. You can make the font much bigger, or you can make it much smaller, but you can make it work for you. And all you have to do from your laptop is press Join Campaign. Now, because we're doing it from a laptop, you're talking to people like you would on a Skype call or on this Zoom call right now, which means that you either need Wi-Fi and a quiet room where you can just talk at your computer, or you simply need a set of headphones with a little mic attached. So most iPhones have these. Most of the headsets you can get for most phones will have this. It's really worth it if you've not got a quiet room, and it means you can call in several places. As I say, you're going to be calling from your laptop or your tablet rather than a mobile phone, rather than a home phone. So it's really, really worth making sure that you've got good Wi-Fi and that you've got one of these little things, because they're really, really handy. So when you join, and I'm not going to press this because fortunately we do have a very handy video that is also in the Slack for you, where a volunteer has recorded them actually going on and making one of the calls. So I really, really recommend you watching that video after this training one as an accompanier. Oh dear. Guys, sorry. So many. It's why I wasn't on the phones today. So everything that I'm going to be saying, and even what the screen looks like, is on the guide. And you can find that guide in the Slack. It's pinned at the top and it's posted regularly. So when you're on the Slack, you want to look for the teeny tiny pin icon that is in the top left-hand corner under the title of our channel, #phoning, where you will be able to get the guides. But importantly, for those of you who don't know or haven't accessed it yet, Slack is the multi-channel chat room, which you should all have been invited to. or are already in the moment. It's like a very, very sophisticated WhatsApp. And it's a place where we're able to talk to each other and we're able to store documents. But it's also our workspace. So we work from the channel #phoning, and that's where you're going to get all the access and information about the campaigns that we're calling for. Every day, myself, Nadia, who's one of the other staff members for the calling team, or one of our wonderful key volunteers will post what campaign that we're calling for that day and a link to the Google Doc that will say who we're calling, why we're calling them, and what we're calling about with some of the script, as well as some handy reminders. So don't worry, it is all in the guide and it's in Slack as well. Whew. Don't worry if it's a bit chaotic and overwhelming in Slack, just like my cough right now. In the beginning, we've had so many people come in. We've had thousands join up even in the last few days. So it's a bit of chaos because there's a huge amount of enthusiasm, but don't let it scare you off. We're here to help. There are volunteers from the Welcome Committee who are there. And as soon as you find #phoning, you've got a wonderful team and all of your teammates on here right now who can support you, including several of them who have done this for a little bit before. So don't be shy with your questions. Do ask. Pop it in that chat and we'll be able to help you out. But the basic process of how you start calling is getting onto Call Hub. So I showed you what it looks like when you've logged in. In order to get a login, you need to message either myself, Nadia, or one of the key volunteers with a username and email address. Now this is in the guide, don't worry, but that is going to be what gets you onto Call Hub. And then you choose the outreach calling team. And the reason why we ask you to send it to us or a key volunteer is because we have all of the access to the back end. Because one of the things about using Call Hub is that you don't actually see any of the phone numbers. We don't need to faff around with you having lists and lists of phone numbers. It's all there. It's all automated and ready for you to go. So Kaz, Anna, and Lisa are our Call Hub superstars at the moment, and they will be on shift. So you will be able to check the Call Hub schedule and it will say key volunteer at the time and when they're there. So you can check in there to see who's online, to see who you want to send the email and username to. So that's your first step. Once you've told us that, and we've told you we've added you, you will get an activation email from Call Hub. Do look out for this. Check your junk. It probably is in your main inbox. But that is how you activate it, is that you follow the link that goes from that sorry guys, that has gone from Call Hub to you, and then you can sign in from there because you have to choose your password. Next, so you're all on Call Hub. Next, you sign in for shifts on the Call Hub schedule that is pinned to the top. Now, what's really important to say here is that we've been having a little bit of issues because it has been editable, and that we know it's very easy when there's so many of us that we accidentally delete things or move things around. So one thing that I will make really clear is that signing up on the schedule just means that we have an indication of who wants to be calling and when, but it's not a barrier for you to be calling. If Call Hub schedule isn't working, pop in the Slack, just let us know that you're on the phones, let us know that you're there, and that's really going to be the best thing. It's just to make sure that we can see who's calling so that we know if things are really busy, or that we can chase people who have signed up and not been able to see if they're okay and that if they need any more support. But it's not a barrier to get phoning. So never don't phone because Call Hub schedule isn't working. We want you on those phones. But also, it's election time. We really want you on those phones as much as possible. So please do sign up for at least a couple of hours a week. But the best thing to do as well is for any of us who have had some practice calling in the afternoons and you get quite a few voicemails, people there will be people who are around in the afternoon, but the vast majority of people are going to be most available around lunchtime and in the evening. So if you can prioritize your times around lunchtime in the evening, that's amazing, and it's going to make all the difference. So you're on Call Hub, you've sent us your email or username, you've got a login because you've created a password, you've signed up for a shift if you're able to, you've put it in your diary to let you know that you're definitely going to be calling then. And then you come on for that shift, you put a shout out in the Slack, you say, hey, I'm going to be doing some calling. We're all like, hey, good luck. This is what we're calling about today. You checked what the script is for that call and you're good to go. You log into Call Hub and you start calling. And that's it. That really is it. Just make sure you've got access to Wi-Fi and maybe a little headset if it's noisy, and you're good to go. But if you do have any questions, you can always put it on the Slack. In the guide, we have also got some top tips on how to make the best calls. And we have the training video that I made, as I said before. But remember, the most important thing is that you are calling people who, like you, who want a Labour government, and often people do want to have a friendly chat with someone who thinks like them, gets people motivated, it lifts their spirits. We're calling people to tell them something new. Peer-to-peer calling is also importantly about spreading good vibes, keeping people buoyed up when they've got to go out canvassing in the rain. And it's so lovely to chat to others like us. And with that encouragement and solidarity that our team puts in, we will be playing a huge role in helping Labour win. So despite having coughed throughout most of that, I hope thank you, Lisa, telling me to get Lemsit. Lisa's one of our key volunteers, Kaz, telling me to look after myself. Just saying hi. But now I'm going to open it up to some questions before we go. Is there anything that doesn't feel like it's been answered? As I said, this is also in the guide. It's in pinned. But is anyone unsure? Will you drink some water soon? Yes, I promise. Immediately next. How do I get on Slack? Okay. For those who haven't already, please go to volunteer.peoplesmomentum.com that I just posted into the chat box. So that's volunteer.peoplesmomentum.com. It's a little form. It will be where you register what team you're interested in. And then there's also, very importantly, you sign a non-disclosure agreement and a data agreement, because we're all in this team. We're all here to work. And we're all here contacting a lot of people. So it's really important to do that. If you feel like you've not signed it, and if you've not done that form, that's really, really important. So please contact me and let me know. If you've been in Slack for a while, or you've slipped through, or someone's added you, it's really important that everyone on Slack has signed the non-disclosure agreement and signed the data agreement. I can send you those forms. If not, and as a backup, go on to volunteer.peoplesmomentum.com and you'll have access to the non-disclosure agreement and data agreement that you can sign. If I have sent you my email address and a username for Call Hub texting, that's a really, really important one. So for people who are on the texting and calling teams, do message me separately, because it just means that I need to add you on Call Hub also to the other team. So it's really simple to do. And once you've jumped through that hurdle, that's fine. Is Call Hub different to Dialogue? It is different to Dialogue, yeah. Dialogue is, it's similar in that it's on your laptop and you're calling people, but the phone list that we're using is different. What we're talking about is different, and it's a separate system as well, so it looks a bit different. You do need to use Google Chrome as well to download Dialogue. Is Dialogue out yet? It is coming soon, I have been told. They are working on it. So this is a really good way to use your skills on the phone to get people going until then. Are there any other questions? Who are you talking to on Dialogue and Call Hub? On Call Hub, we are talking to, because it's peer-to-peer, as I say, we are Momentum volunteers and supporters and sign-ups, talking to other Momentum volunteers, supporters and sign-ups. So it's our database. That's people who are in the Labour Party, that's people who aren't, but really want a Labour government. So it's quite expansive, and it might mean that you actually talk to people that you wouldn't hear otherwise. But whereas on Dialogue, you're mainly talking to an electoral role, asking them which way they're going to vote. We talk about slightly different things. We have longer conversations. We might have coordinating situations or talking to them about an event that we really want them to go to. So we're talking to them about different things, and we're also talking to slightly different people. Yeah, so Dialogue is taking its time. We will be talking about Dialogue once it's out in our Slack. We'll let people know, don't worry, but this is a really, really great way to get involved before then. And for all of our international friends on here who aren't actually able to use Dialogue, this is a wonderful way to still be very, very much involved. And a huge shout out to you guys, because you're making all the difference. So once you've signed up to volunteer.peoplesmomentum.com, so I'm just going to put that again. So volunteer.peoplesmomentum.com, you will be added to Slack. In order to get onto Call Hub, you need to message myself or one of the key volunteers who are on shift, and we will add you to Call Hub. Once you've been added to Call Hub, you'll get an activation email from them. So that's how you'll know that you've been added. But you need to look at that email, because you'll be creating your own password so that you can go in. Cool, thank you. That's good to know in terms of the other teams. We've got welcome volunteers, and if you're worried and have any extra questions, you can go onto the hashtag general chat and ask people that way. But the best way to get to people about the phoning team is to message the hashtag phoning team. But it is just a message in hashtag phoning channel. Cool. And we see we're helping each other already. That's the best way. And this is why messaging in that chat is good too, because it means that if I or one of our lovely key volunteers aren't there because we're doing other things, or we're not there 24/7, then I'm sure that there's someone else in the team who might be able to help. It's really important to note that, you know, we're doing this around other jobs, we're doing this around childcare responsibilities, helping out in local Labour parties. So if we don't answer immediately, we're going to be back to you as soon as we can. So do check out the Call Hub schedule to see when the volunteers are signed up. Check out the Slack, because they'll announce when they're on shift and say hello so that you know you're there, that they're there. So do just have a check out for that. So please do let us know on Slack about Call Hub, and we'll be getting you on then. Wonderful. Great. Is there anything else? So through Call Hub, we are talking to other Momentum volunteers to encourage them to get them in and contribute more. It really depends. At the moment, we've got a really exciting campaign where we're talking to all the Labour Legends sign-ups and letting them know their next steps, which is really exciting. And we're hopefully going to be calling more Labour Legends about like placements, logistics. But this weekend, we're also hopefully going to have some mobilization calls. So starting from tomorrow, we want to be telling people about canvassing over the weekend and letting them know how that goes. So you need to message myself or one of the key volunteers on Slack. That's really important. Message us on Slack with your email and username, probably separately, so your email isn't out for everyone to see. That's quite important. So it's on Slack. So I'm Rosie, and you can find me in #phoning. So Rosie Carter Rich, that's me on Slack. But do just put a shout out in Slack and we'll let you know who to do it. It's quite late this evening. We've got lots of calls to do. So if we can't add you immediately, be patient with us. We'll add you as soon as we possibly can. Ooh. Right. I'm going to go get that water. And I'm sure that everyone who has been watching this in the training as it is recorded tomorrow will have enjoyed my lovely coughing and all of your questions. But thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. We really appreciate it. And I hope this training has been useful. As a little recap, onto Slack. If you're not on there, you want to go onto volunteer.peoplesmomentum.com. Once you're on Slack, if you're not on Call Hub, you need to message myself, Nadia, or the key volunteers with your email and username in a separate chat, and we will add you as soon as we can. Check out the guides when you're on Slack. It will explain everything that I've said here, and this will be a video, and we've got extra training videos available as well for how to have great phone calls, for what it looks like when you're on Call Hub and calling. See, Lisa's adding people right now. We're ready to go. And you can start calling immediately. In fact, you could potentially start calling now until 8 o'clock, like our mates from Copenhagen. Brilliant. Right. Thank you, everyone, so much. Our wonderful volunteers. Kaz is here as well. We'll let you know where the guides are in case you can't find them. Always check out for that teeny tiny pin. We're good to go. Okay, everybody. It's been so lovely seeing you all. Thank you all for staying, and we'll see you on the phones. Bye, everyone. I know, I'm going to go get the water. Bye.